Oh. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Hari Om. We are discussing the specific qualifications that one must have, a seeker must have, to begin the study for gaining Atma Jnana, self-knowledge. And these four qualifications are enumerated as Viveka, discrimination, Vairagya, detachment, Shamadhi, Shatka Sampatti, the inner wealth of 6 values, disciplines, starting with Shama, control of mind. And then Mumukshutvam, an intense desire for liberation. So of these, we had earlier seen Viveka in the 20th verse, Vairagya in the 21st, Shama in the 22nd, Dhamma, Uparama, both of them we saw in verse 23. Then last class, Sahanam Sarvadukkhana Apratikara Purvakam Chinta Vilaparahitam Sa Titiksha Nigadyate. So Titiksha was defined as enduring all discomforts, sorrow, pain, etc. Taking all that in stride without any retribution or complaints. That was described as titiksha. After that, Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satyabuddhyavadaranam Sa Shraddha Katita Sadbihi Yaya Vastupalabhyate. We saw that Shraddha is said to be the firm faith in ascertaining the truth through the words of Shastra and Guru. So, what the Shastra says and what the Guru says is true. That kind of faith, that Pramanya Buddhi should be there. That is called Shraddha. So, we have seen all this so far. Now we continue with verse 26. Let us read. Sarvada Stapanam Buddhehe Sarvada Stapanam Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvada Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvada Tatsamadhanamityuktam Tatsamadhanamityuktam Natu Chittasya Lalanam Nanu Chittasya Lalanam Sarvada Stapanam Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvada Tatsamadhanamityuktam Natu Chittasya Lalanam. So this sixth discipline called Samadhanam. Samadhanam of the sixfold wealth. This is the sixth. This is called Samadhanam, that is talked about here. It is defined, described as Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Stapanam. Placing the mind in the pure Brahman. Placing the mind in the pure Brahman. Huh? So you may ask, how can a person fix the mind upon Brahman? Because we are talking about the qualifications, preparation for studying Vedanta. Therefore, the student does not even know what Brahman is. Then how can he go and fix his mind on that unknown thing? Huh? He must know what it is first. So we should note here that fixing the mind upon Brahman means fixing the mind upon Brahman as the goal of life. Yeah, sure, I don't know what exactly Brahman is. It is something that is said in the Vedas. Because of Shraddha, and the Shastra says that Brahman is, so I know it is. I don't know exactly what it is and all that, but I know that Astika Buddhi, Asti Buddhi, that Shraddha is there. So I want to know that. That is my goal. So fixing the mind upon Brahman means making that my goal, my pursuit. Right now I have only Paroksha Jnanam, an indirect knowledge about Brahman. Some descriptions I have heard, I have read, that it is something which is said to be infinite, supposed to be free of any attributes, that Brahman is said to be the cause of the universe. I've heard these things. These are all only vicarious, indirect knowledge about Brahman. But the student does not know that Brahman, he is. By gaining that Brahman, I will get moksha. So I should seek Brahman. That kind of goal clarity should be there. So here, Brahmani means Brahman. Parokshataya Brahmani buddhehe stapanam. The mind should be fixed in the indirectly known Brahman as the goal of life. That is how we must understand that statement. When should I do that? Sarvada. You will see this word sarvada twice in the first line. There is also another reading where the second sarvada is changed to sarvata. Sarvata means by all means. So all the time and by all means, you seek that. What do you mean by all means? Whatever be the pursuit of life, that seeker does not forget that goal. He may be running a family, going through a lot of activities. He may be in the society. He may be working, earning money, raising children, taking care of grandchildren, may be very active in the society. In and through all of them, through all activities, he does not forget his goal. That is the meaning of sarvata. So when you go to a circus, you see so many wonderful performances in the circus. And you marvel at the concentration of those performers. They will be walking on a tightrope and at the same time twirling baton, doing so many things. But they never lose sight of that balance. What a concentration they have. That's the kind of thing. I may be doing so many things. Different times. In and through all that, I do not lose sight of my goal. That Brahman is my ultimate goal. I need to know, realize, and get established in that. Tat samadhanam iti uktam. That placing well is called samadhanam. That kind of concentration, focus, goal focus. With shama and dama, you have gained uparati, the mind is withdrawn. That withdrawn mind should not be let loose just like that. It should focus on something. And that something should be Brahman, the thing to be known for liberation. Otherwise, the mind will become extrovert or it will go to sleep. The mind is quietened by withdrawing and everything, but it doesn't have something to latch on to. It will go to sleep. That's what happens in sleep. Before we go to sleep, we forget everything. Nothing is there. Nothing is on the mind. If you have something on the mind, you cannot go to sleep. It's also there. So we are used to that. So we have to give it something, give the mind something. And that something should be Brahman. That Brahman I should realize. That alone is called Samadhi. Samadhi and Samadhanam mean one and the same thing. For Samadhi, this type of focus alone, the entire Ashtanga Yoga Patanjali is prescribed. And all that yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, finally samadhi. So Ashtanga Yoga Patanjali is not for moksha, it's not even for jnanam. The entire Ashtanga Yoga Patanjali is useful to only develop one discipline. Not even the entire sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. In sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, within the third one, in the set of six disciplines, the very last one, samadhanam, that is samadhi in Ashtanga Yoga. For that alone, Ashtanga Yoga is given. Never take yoga as an alternative method for liberation. I'm not criticizing Ashtanga Yoga, do not get me wrong. A lot of people are really into Ashtanga Yoga. There's nothing wrong. It's a wonderful discipline. Beautiful 8 steps are given, but we should know what its purpose is, what it can do, and what it cannot do. It does not give you Brahmajnana. It assists you in developing sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. And that too, one of the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, actually speaking, 1 out of 9. Understand samadhanam as this focus of mind, focus concept. And then he adds, natu chittas. One should not pamper the mind, allow the mind to let go. Like a child, an undisciplined child goes here and there, pulls anything and everything. Do not allow that mind to be such a brat. Let that child be under your control. Now, lalanam literally means pampering or wandering. Not allowing the mind to do all that, but focusing the mind is samadhana. So with this, the 6th discipline is over. Shatka sampatti, that shat, the 6th. So with this, the 3rd qualification, the set of 6 disciplines, values, virtues. So over, this is called inner wealth. Sampatti, sampat, wealth. When this inner wealth is there, you become a strong person. You have great strength to pursue this knowledge. Now we enter the 4th qualification, mumukshutvam, otherwise also called as mumukshuta. Let us read verse 27. Ahankārādi dehantan, ahankārādi dehantan, bandhan ajnana kalpitan, bandhan ajnana kalpitan, swasvarupavabodhena, swasvarupavabodhena, moktumichha mumukshuta, moktumichha mumukshuta, ahankārādi dehantan, bandhan ajnana kalpitan, swasvarupavabodhena, moktumichha mumukshuta. So now the 4th qualification is mumukshuta or mumukshutvam. Literally, it means desire for moksha. Generally, the word moksha is translated as liberation or freedom. There is nothing wrong in that translation, but it is not a very true translation to the Sanskrita word. If you have to give an exact true translation for moksha, it should be translated as tyaga, giving up, giving away, washing off is moksha. In keeping with that true Sanskrita meaning, Shankaracharya gives the definition as moktumicha. Moktumicha mumukshta. That is how he defines it. Mumukshutvam is the desire to give up. This translation is a good translation because it removes some of the misconceptions regarding moksha. If you talk of moksha as freedom to be accomplished in time, in course of time, sometime in the future, it looks as though we don't have it now and we are going to get it at some time or the other. Then we say attain moksha, gain moksha, etc. But when you translate moksha as giving up, then all our expectations of getting something will go away. One of the biggest obstacles in Vedanta is the expectation of getting something extraordinary, either in terms of possession. Some religion talk about reaching different loka. Some others talk about getting some extraordinary personal thing like powers, capacity to predict future, ability to read others' mind. Or go to Swarga and forever enjoy there. Like that, so many different ideas are there. Typically, when non-students, when I say non-students, who are not really seekers of the highest, they go to a Mahatma. They only want siddhis. Siddhis, extraordinary powers, some mystical powers, or some extraordinary experiences. That's what they want. Such expectations are there. Unfortunately, even among people who studied the Shastras, they want things like, want to know the future. Things like that are there. On the other hand, if you were to define moksha as giving up, then you don't expect anything new. You're going to give up something. Question is, what should you give up? So we say, give up bondage. Give up your sense of limitation. Give up your sense of inadequacy. Give up your sense of missing things. I am incomplete. Give that incompleteness. I'm missing this, I'm missing that. Whenever somebody goes out of town for a travel, business, vacation, or what have you, they come back. Did you miss me? I'm missing this or that. I'm missing that position. A sense of inadequacy is there. The sense of limitation is called bondage. Giving up that sense of limitation is moksha. Giving up that sense of bondage is moksha. that means that it is in my hand. So I just have to give it up. If moksha is getting something, then we will have to attribute the Lord doing something. If I say you have to give up that sense, whose responsibility is it? So it's putting the whole responsibility on your head. You decide to throw away that notion. You decide to knock off that sense, I'm limited. How long will I be bound? I just want to get rid of it. And how long will that be? As long as you decide to hold on to that. When will you be free? You can be free at 8:04. Huh? If you decide to drop the notion, just at this moment, 7:56 IST, whatever your local time is. Yeah. So limitation can be translated in different ways. But one of the translation is sense of localization. I am in this particular place, which alone creates the idea of limitation. I am here at this time. I am here, and if I go there, that is moksha. Go to Kailasha, Vaikunta, be with that Father in heaven. So in all question and answer session, common question is, I am here now. Afterwards, where will I go? And how long will it take? After death, how many years will it take for the jiva to take another body? As though all these questions in this life have been answered, we ask questions about after death. All these questions of traveling, going, coming back, the sense of location, that is limitation. So giving that sense of limitation is moksha. Then we are further going to refine that. Why do we get that sense of being located someplace, localization? What makes me feel I'm here? It's very interesting. Our day to day experience is enough to find out the answer. In the Jagrad Avastha, in the waking state, and in the Swapna Avastha, in the dream state, when the mind, body are both functioning. I have a very clear sense, clean sense of localization and individuality. I'm here in this room in front of these lights, front of this computer, hooked to the internet. And you all are there in your room. You are also connected with whatever device. That sense of localization, individuality is there. Same thing happens in the dream world also, wherever the dream is happening and whatever you're doing. But let's go to deep sleep. In Sushupti Avastha, when the body-mind complex is resolved, body is not functioning, the senses are not functioning, the mind is not functioning, then I don't have a sense of localization or any limitation. Only until you go to sleep, you say, I'm here. Once you are fast asleep, you don't know where you are. Whether you're at home or in the class or in a train or a flight or somewhere. That's why when you travel and you wake up in a hotel room, when you wake up, suddenly you don't know where you are. In deep sleep, the sense of place, time, and the sense of body is gone. But in waking and dream, that location, individuality is there. Therefore, the Pancha Koshas, which we will elaborate later, we will study Pancha Koshas, etc., very elaborately. They give a sense of localization. The body-mind complex are the Pancha Koshas. And among the Pancha Koshas also, Anandamaya Kosha, the deep sleep state, Anandamaya Kosha does not create this problem that we are sleeping. Therefore, mainly the four koshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, they are the localizing culprit. As long as they are not negated, the sense of limitation, localization will not go away. Therefore, Panchakosha Tyagaha Eva, only giving up with the Panchakoshas, giving that up is called Parichinnatva Tyagaha, giving up the sense of limitation. Here, when we talk about giving up the Panchakoshas or negation of Panchakosha, it do not mean physical negation. It is nothing but falsification. Understanding that they are false. They are like shadow. They are like Brahman shadow. I know that my shadow cannot limit me. I do experience a shadow, but it does not affect me in any way. The whole prapancha, the world creation, especially the panchakoshas, should be reduced to shadow, to a shadow, to mithya, unreal. The mithya prapancha kosha, mithya panchakosha, can give rise only to mithya, limitation. And therefore, my localization, my limitation is only a seemingly real, seemingly, apparently real. That's all. It's not a really real. I am eternally the non-localized consciousness. I am that consciousness that is all pervading. From where we are, we need to get there. Therefore, what is moksha? So Shankaracharya says, Bandhan moktum ichchaha. Desire moktum means tyaktum, to give up. Bandhan, the bondage, the shackle, the limiting factors. And what are they? What are the things that are limiting you? Ahankaradi dehanta. So he is taking the four koshas, starting from ahankara, vijnanamaya kosha, and dehantan, ending with annamaya kosha. We usually start with annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, but he is coming in the reverse order. Doesn't matter. We are covering the four koshas, which are all anatma. So this identification with the four koshas, they limit me. They give me the sense of limitation. The very notion of I, the sense of individuality, is there only in Jagrad Avastha, in the waking state, when the mind is awake. Therefore, moksha is the desire to falsify all of them. So that is why Janaka was given the name Videha to indicate his jnanam. Videha means the disembodied one, the one who is free from embodiment. Does that mean Janaka moved without a body? Was he a ghost? What do you mean without a body? Janaka did not take this body as one which limits him. Therefore, when the sense of limitation of the body is struck, I am without a body. The part space can drop the notion of limitation by the mere understanding that the part cannot enclose or contain or limit the space. The limitation of part space is notional. It's only a notion, it's an idea, some concept in the mind. It's not factual, it's not a fact. Similarly, business is notional, not factual. This understanding and giving up that notion that I am limited is called moksha. This is a technical definition. In the Bhagavad Gita, we do not give the technical definition because people think that is too abstract. Localization and all that. Therefore, in the Gita, it is put in the grossest Atasun, Agata, Akatajsunsya, Na Anushochanti, Panditaha. The wise do not grieve. Na Anushochanti. They don't grieve. They don't feel the sorrow, the suffering. Gatasu, Agatasuncha, Gatasun for the departed or soon to be departed. That does not affect them. But Vivekachudamani defines moksha in a technical way. But ultimately the meaning is free from the sense of limitation, free from sorrow, free from fear of death. Therefore, ahankaradi dehantan bandhan mokshum ichchah. The desire to give up the bondage beginning from ahankara, ego, all the way and ending with the body. Then the question is, how do you give up? You have to find out what is their cause. Because one of the methods of destroying something is destroying its cause. If you go to a doctor, what do you go there? With some symptoms. I have a cough, I have a cold, I have a runny nose, my knee is hurting, my back is hurting, something like that. You go with the symptoms and you describe. The doctor looks at it. Here's what you have to say. And then, based on the symptoms, he has some ideas what the causes could be, And to ascertain that cause, he may do some more diagnostic tests. Then he comes up with a diagnosis. What is the diagnosis? What is the cause that is showing up in these symptoms? You may go to the doctor with a headache, but that headache can be caused by so many reasons. Head is only one, ache is only one, but what is causing it may be many. Sometimes you have a chest pain, you go to the doctor, and he says, no, it's only indigestion. You're okay, nothing wrong with your heart. Sometimes you go with a chest pain and he does some tests. Oh my God, you're having a heart attack. We better take you to the operation room right away. So, the symptoms and the cause, we need to figure out what the cause is. And once you figure out what the cause and relieve that, immediate relief. Thus, karana nashena karya nashaha. By taking care of the cause, you can take care of the effect. Destroy the cause, destroy the effect. So we ask, what is the cause of this panchakosha? So he says, ajnana kalpitan. The whole duality is born out of ajnanam, ignorance. Therefore, the desire to give up the shackles which are born out of ignorance can be accomplished only by removing that ajnana, that ignorance. How do you remove ignorance? There's only one way, and that way is jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge is the antidote to ignorance. So Bhashikara says, Swaswarupa avabodhena, by avabodha, the knowledge of Swaswarupa, one's own true nature. One seeks to get liberated by gaining the real nature of oneself. The desire for that is known as mumukshuta. So there are three aspects to this definition of mumukshuta. Number one, what is bondage? Number two, how is bondage caused? What is the cause of bondage? Number three, how to get liberated from that bondage. The bondage is, to answer the question, what is bondage? That bondage is ahankaradi dehantan bandhan. It is ajnana kalpitan, caused by ignorance. And it is removed swaswarupa avabodhena, by knowing the real nature of oneself. He has condensed a huge topic, the whole Vedanta, in these two lines. What is the problem? Sense of limitation. How is it caused? Ignorance. How is it removed? By knowledge over. Swaswarupa avabodhena, by knowing one's own real nature. That I am the unlimited consciousness. That all-pervading consciousness, the non-localized consciousness, that I am. Problem is solved. Therefore, moktumicha, there is a desire to give up this bondage. The ultimate goal of the student, the parama purushartha, is moksha, but the immediate goal of the student is jnanam, because moksha is through jnanam. Therefore, now the seeker says, I am interested in jnanam, that knowledge. So this is called conversion of mumuksha to jignyasa. To know, desire to know. It's a big progress. Previously, I had desire for moksha, and I didn't have a clue how to get that. But I am very clear now. What I need is knowledge, and only when my seeking becomes knowledge seeking, then alone the relevance of scriptures will come into play. You will appreciate the scriptures, Shastra. Otherwise, people ask, why all these studies? Why all this? Why should I come to Gita class? Why should I study the Upanishads? Why should I study Prakarana Granthas like Vivekacu 581 verses? Why should I do meditation? Why can't I raise Kundalini? Why can't I do this puja or that puja? All kinds of things. But once you define moksha is understanding something intimately, then alone the Vedanta Shravana, the systematic study of the scriptures, become extremely important. So here mumuksha is jignyasa. Atato Brahma jignyasa. That is how Brahma Sutra starts. So this is the fourth qualification. Now Shankaracharya says this mumukshuta is also of 3 or 4 kinds. One is called Tivra Mokshuta, intense longing for freedom. Pujya Gurudev used to call this the burning desire for liberation. The second type is called mediocre, a Madhyama Mumukshita, not very intense. Third is Manda, dull. One more is there, Atimanda, extremely dull. The intense longing for liberation is so strong. I cannot stand anything that stops me from gaining that. I cannot even wait 1 more minute to be free. The example given is somebody's head is on fire. The hair on the head is on fire. At that time, he wants to put that fire out. When? Sooner the better, as early as possible. Does it happen like that? No, I want it now. Immediately, anywhere water is there. I want to pour that water on my head. I want to put that fire out. I want it done now, intense. Second is Madhyama. I want it. I'm very earnest about it. I want to do it as soon as it is possible. From at once, it has become as early as possible. Then there are the majority of people have only Manda Mumukshita, a low grade intensity in desire for liberation. When everything is settled, after retirement, when I have nothing else to do, I will think about it. Let me make money now. He knows something like this goal is there, but not right up. I will surrender all my wealth to my children and grandchildren, then I will give myself to you and you look after me. This is called Manda Mumukshta. And as I said, there is one more also, Ati Manda. He does not even know what moksha is. He, by chance, I happen to see moksha somewhere in my life. I may consider picking it up. That kind of attitude is called Ati Manda. Bhagwan Bhashyakara Shankaracharya does not even talk about that. He only talks about the other 3. Now, to the extent that motivation is strong, the person will progress, go faster and faster. I have the desire, but it is not that strong. How to make it strong? How to make it more intense? How to intensify that desire? That's what Shankaracharya said in Sadhana Panchakam. He said, Atma Ichcha, Atma Ichcha Vyavastitam, Vyavasiyatam. Cultivate your desire to know that Atma. How to do that? Now, a beautiful answer is given in the next verse, which we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.